In our HTML files, we have already used the double curly braces so far, also referred to as interpolation, to output our data properties, and also inside of our loops to output a variable too. If required, these double curly braces can also support JavaScript expressions too. It's most simple, we could use these to perform a JavaScript calculation and then output the result. So anywhere inside of here, let's go just below the header, we can use these double curly braces and create a simple addition such as 1 plus 3. And vue.js will evaluate this expression and then output the result of 4. We could use other JavaScript expressions too, such as divide. We could say 10 divided by 2, the value of 5. And we can also use built-in JavaScript methods too. So for example, we could access the math object and then select a method called random. This will then generate a random number between 0 and 1 each time we reload the browser. We can also access our existing data properties, such as the name, and transform this using JavaScript methods, such as toUpperCase. This will then take our original name, which we've placed in the data property, and then transform this to be uppercase before outputting this in the browser. We could go even further too and add things such as the JavaScript ternary operator. We could check if the name.length is greater than 0. This is currently true since we have more than 0 characters inside of this string. So if this is true, which we know it is, this is going to output a string of welcome, followed by our user's name. If not, we use the colon to provide a second condition, which is going to be welcome guest. So this is regular JavaScript and it's nothing specific to vue.js. The only Vue involvement is we are outputting this using the double curly braces. We know our name.length is greater than 0, so we see the message of welcome and our name. If we were to create an empty string, for example, if a user is not logged in, we would see the message of welcome guest. Another thing we can do too is to add expressions into our dynamic attributes too. Just above where we set this dynamic style property, let's say we wanted to only set the dark mode object if a certain condition is true. So as a random example, we could say if 10 is less than 5. If this is true, we're then going to display the dark mode, or if not, we're going to output an empty string, meaning no class will be applied. So save this and refresh. 10 is less than 5, so the dark mode will not be applied. If we change this to be true, so 10 is greater than 5, dark mode should now be applied to our project. Or as a more realistic example back over in our script, we have this dark mode set property. So we can now use this to conditionally render our dark mode. So rather than this number value, we can say dark mode set, which is currently true. So dark mode will stay enabled. If we set this to be false, this should now be removed. And we can also remove our welcome message too. Toggling this dark mode on and off manually is not ideal. So in the next video, we're going to set this to react to a button.